All right, Shalom. As always, all honor, glory, and praise be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak. As always, Shalom to the hopeful elect of the Israelite race scattered amongst the earth. As always, starting with our elder apostles over the Great Millstone Church, and out to all you brothers, you great brothers, continuing in the faith, pushing the doctrine, the true doctrine of the scriptures, seeking the kingdom, shining as a light into our nation, right? And likewise, Shalom to all the rest of you repentant Israelites scattered amongst the earth, likewise seeking the kingdom. And this is just a message about keeping priorities, pretty much in order. First things first, and that's understanding that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So the lives that you know it as of now, it isn't forever. It's temporal. It's a temporary circumstance. For the time being, we are, we subject to this world. We subject to the so-called white man ruling and reigning over us, over the earth, polluting the air, polluting the people's minds, polluting everything, because they're the wicked. Their ways are, the ways of death, destruction. Everything we see looming around us when you turn the news on, when you go outside, when you listen to people, when you talk to people, simply everything's polluted. So we're just subject to these things for a time being. So you got to keep the priority, meaning what's important at hand first, and that's the kingdom. And to have the kingdom in the forefront of your mind is going to allow you to prevail and accomplish much. It's going to allow you to see things clearly. It's going to allow you to stay above water while most people continue to drown and sink because they don't have a sound foundation. So their minds are always able to be stirred in times that we're in. We enduring everything the Lord subjects us to in the time being. For those of you who got jobs, you work, you got to get up, keep it pushing in the morning. You tired, outside of work, you work hard. We uphold this truth above everything. The scriptures tell us we ridicule in this world. You got family against you. The world is ultimately against you. But again, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So everything we enduring is just small work compared to what we're going to receive. So we'll kick it off in the book of First John chapter 2 and 15 in the scriptures. It says, love not the world. So don't love this world. Don't get caught up in this world. Use the world, don't abuse it. Remember that this world is going to pass away. There's nothing here to be attached to. There's nothing here to truly, I ain't gonna say care for, but to, put your all in or really have an attachment to. You're just using it for the time being, whether it be to balance out, to maintain, to uphold yourself, so you can continue in this faith, continue in the faith, continue having faith, continue in the truth. So love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So it's a constant examining yourself, realizing what's real, realizing what's false, and just holding true to what is real. And the only thing that's real is these scriptures, the words of these scriptures. You just got to use and align yourself amongst them and to them so you can maintain. Because the Lord said he's going to save his people. He's going to save Israel. That's the Israel of God. And the Israelites is always being us so-called black people. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, Indian people, according to your father's side, according to your father's lineage. That denotes, if you're an Israelite, that denotes who you are. So if your father's a so-called black person, you're an Israelite, according to the scriptures. And you are not to be loving the world, You're not to be intertwined and join hand to hand with this place because it's going to pass away. And ultimately, that's to those of us who are seeking to escape. We seeking salvation. We want to get on those ships. We want to be changed. We denounce this place. We denounce the earth in its current order. We denounce the so-called white man and his estate and his position right now. And we uphold, thus said Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And that's the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh, and the name of the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai being who many on this earth and this world at this current time called Jesus. Continue, verse 16, it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So all of these things, the lust of the flesh, whatever that plays out to be, you got, these women, certain things you be attached to, eating food, it's all of the flesh, man. It's not real. The flesh go pass away, but the spirit is what's forever. And the spirit was going to ultimately get you into the kingdom. So you got to put off. It says in the lust of the eyes. That could be anything. So some of us got, you like your car too much. You like your home and your grass and whatever it may be. You got that's a distraction. Always understand. You get to a moment you gotta detach. Again, we just use these things, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to see these things on fire. It's just temporal. But don't be over righteous to the point you destroy yourself because you come too you come too hard. You stop enjoying stuff. It's okay to kick back. If you need to listen to some music, do so. If you need to, you got a show you like to watch, do so. But just, again, you're not attached to this place. It's always detaching from it. Using it, then detaching. Remembering the priority is the kingdom. So you always got to just bounce back and stay in reality, ultimately. See, in the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. We go read that in the NLT. It says, for the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure. And it's part of that pollution that the so-called white man, he entices the world with. That's why there's all types of Instagram reels and YouTube reels and, commercials and TVs everywhere and billboards and advertisement because they're trying to draw you into this world. A craving for everything we see and pride in our achievements and possessions, things that you fake achieve. There's no true achievements on this earth. Everything is given over into the hands of the wicked. That's why so many people can achieve so much stuff on this earth, because it's easy. It's not hard to get it. It's not hard to be a bad female in this world, a woman that get, that men are after. It's not hard to be, really anything. It's not hard to go be an entertainer, a rapper, a dancer, because it's all given. You follow the parameters and you do it the right way, you can make it. And there's levels to things. I'm not going to say it's not, but for the most part, all these things easy. Because the so-called white man is the one at the end of the, at the end of the road that you're trying to take. He going to be there to shake your hand and keep you being used. Like, imagine making it to the NBA. Yeah, it took talent, it took hard work, it took, you to, put forth effort to make it that far. But at the end of the day, so-called white man paying you out of his pocket. He's a billionaire. He's giving you a few $1 million that you go get taxed on to play a sport. You can't win in this world. And that goes for a lot of things. You get a position in this world is only temporal anyway. It's only going to take you so far. It's all the setup to keep you down. Continuing says, these are not from the Father, but are from this world. The world offers you those things. They're not real. We don't know what the Lord has ultimately in store for us. We know the kingdom is beyond our imagination, though. We know the beautiful things that's going to be in the kingdom. The Lord has many mansions, and we can't even imagine what those mansions truly are, what they truly look like. How expansive that is, but we know they exist. I have not seen, ear have not heard. But the beauty is that we know it's far beyond anything our eyes see here. Verse 17, it says, "And the world passeth away," back to the KJV, "and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." And that's what you're supposed to be seeking. All the things that come with the kingdom, immortality, a new body, a real fresh start, a real new beginning, opportunity, real opportunity, life eternal. It says no more tears, no more war. No more like your people walking around watching your people just be destroyed and cursed. Your dang family just lost. They gotta die. No more of that in the kingdom, No more of you being tired of your dang self. Because that's a real thing, man. You fall, you gotta get back up. You just want to be right, but it's not on this side. So again, keep your priorities in check. Keep your priorities in order. This world is passing away. It's the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." You see? So again, it's just a reminder to keep your priorities in order, because this place is on fire already through the Spirit. The earth is on fire through the Spirit. America will be destroyed off the face of the earth by nuclear fire. Anyone that's joined hand in hand with the so-called white man, his world, his ways, you're going to get burnt up and destroyed too. The Lord go deal with you, especially you so-called black people, you Israelites, because it starts with the household of faith. It starts with his children. 2/3 of the Israelites going to be cut off. Verse 11 says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" It's the book of St. Matthew, chapter 6, in verse 19. It says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal." See, that's the nature of this current earth. The earth and giving it to the hands of the so-called white man. It's Esau, Edom, according to the scriptures. His true identity. Everything here is corrupt. Nothing is ultimately true. What's in front of you is basically an imagination. The earth don't really even look the way that it's supposed to look. You just subject to what you've been known to believe and understand. The earth is supposed to be an oasis, a paradise. Trees don't look the way they're truly supposed to look. Women don't look the way they really supposed to look. The sky don't look the way it's supposed to look. Oceans and water is, again, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, because you have to understand this earth. The kingdom will be here on this earth. So the earth is going to abide forever, but the kingdom of heaven is going to be made here on this earth. So everything's going to be renewed. Continuing, verse 20, it says, "But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven," right? Keeping your priorities in order, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You see, in your heart is your mind. So you're supposed to translate your mind to the heavens. That's what it tells you in Revelation chapter 12. In verse 12, it says what? "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." Those are those whose minds have been translated to the heavens. You dwell in the heavens through the Spirit. You know the earth is corrupt in its current state, given into the hands of the wicked, the so-called white man. You know you're an Israelite. You know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. You know you got to stay, down that straight and narrow path. And you know you got to endure it to the end so you can get on that ship. You seeking salvation. You want the kingdom. You see? So keep your mind on what's real. And we're going to close it out here in the book of James chapter 4 in verse 14. And this reads, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? And it's a way to stay maintaining. Just deal with it day by day. Don't worry about tomorrow just yet. Be prudent, but, stay where your feet are. As it's saying, I heard in the world, where your feet are, that's what you deal with. You here right now, you do what's in front of you. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeared for a little time and then vanisheth away. You might not even make it to tomorrow. So deal with what's in front of you. And that's what the priority is. What's in front of us is the kingdom, but until that comes, we got to deal day by day where we are. So learn to maintain, keep your mind, you stay, clear on what's real and what's not, and just constantly endure. I'm going to read this James 4:14 in NLT and close out. It says, how do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? You don't know if the Lord come back. He come like a thief in the night. So you're supposed to just stay upright, man. Don't fall too far to the right, too far to the left. Just stay down the middle, and endure. You go have ups, you go have downs, you go have falls, but, just get up and continue. It says your life is like the morning fog. It is here a little while, then it's gone. So I'm going to say, Lord willing, this is something useful, to you listeners. But until next time, I'm just going to say shalom.